Hey guys, welcome back to another bald build. Today we're talking about roofing a Suburban. Now when I say Suburban, I mean something along these lines, generally based around a square but with multiple bump outs, especially in the front, and heavily built toward family style living. So large living spaces, multiple bedrooms, generally at least 2 stories, and a garage as well. Usually, although obviously in The Sims it's more for decoration. As far as roofing goes, we're looking at multiple front-facing gables, fairly steep roofs, like not super steep like we may see on a Tudor or mansard, but not as shallow as we may see on a mid-century. If you're interested in all those cool facts and things, you're going to love what's coming in October, but for now, let's get started over here. I'm going to start as usual on the deck, and if you want more details onto how to roof decks, you could check out this video here. Going to start with a half gable and pull it out to the corner, pushing in both of these eaves by holding shift. Actually, I'm going to push this one in too. I'm going to drop it all the way down and up 1. Copy, rotate, place, and grab a half hip. And there's our deck done. Next, I'm going to come over to this part. Now, because this is a Suburban, and like I just said, Suburbans tend to have fairly average pitch roofs, I am just going to stick with the default pitch, but of course, depending on your build and what wall heights you're using, that may change. I do recommend keeping the same roof pitch throughout the Suburban build, except for the deck. Decks kind of get away with having a lower pitch in general, but for the rest of the build, I recommend staying with the same pitch. Now, if you're doing a Suburban that has something like this on the front, you're going to run into this issue a lot, which is there's sort of this gap here. Now you can fix it by pulling over this half gable, but then you have this eave clipping through, and you don't want to push this back because then you're just going to have like a weird gap here. So what we're going to do is copy this same piece, pull it over 1, and then push the eaves back. I'm also going to add a gable here. I'm only going to push it back this far though, because when I place my large gable to cover the majority of the roof, we once again have an issue of these eaves clipping. I have a whole video going into basically all the scenarios you're going to run into with this and how to fix them, so if that's something you're interested in, you can totally check it out. For this situation in particular, we just copy the roof piece and then bring up these eaves. Ta-da! And this same gable will also go here. Make sure it joins up, and one last gable. So that's sort of the classic Suburban silhouette. We have a lot of the front-facing gables, this peak is relatively high, and we still need to fix right here. Now for this, I should just be able to grab a half gable, and it will line right up since we're sticking with the default pitch. But we have this issue where it doesn't quite line up with the deck, so what we're going to do there is just pull this back. If the garage was detached, I would do another front-facing gable, but since it is not, I'm going to go with a half-hipped. And I know this is the default pitch, which I said to keep, but it does look a little too tall, so instead I'm going to pitch it down to line up with this wall height. That looks much better. Admittedly, I did not plan this build out great for windows, but I'm just going to leave it be. As far as roof texture goes, you can pick pretty much anything. Newer constructions may have steel roofs, shingles are also classic, and when I add a roof trim to a Suburban, I tend to pick something that has a little bit more weight to it, because most Suburbans have gutters. Don't know if that makes sense or not, but it makes sense in my head. And something I just realized is we have this little eave clipping through here, so I'm just going to push this up. And those are the basics of roofing a Suburban style home. If you enjoyed this, then you're going to love what's coming in October, so don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. By October, because I'm a mom and doing daily uploads for months in a row just isn't sustainable. But when October hits, I am going to do daily tutorials again, and this time I'll be going over full houses. So they will be significantly longer videos, but the goal is that you'll be able to not only copy exactly what I'm building on screen, but translate that knowledge into designs of your own, while still keeping that same aesthetic. Check out the top card for a playlist of more roofing videos, and check out the bottom card for a playlist of all these roofing styles broken down. I also recently uploaded a video going over how to roof with curved walls, so I highly recommend checking that out. I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Bye!